Okay, here it is. Welcome to another Jurassic World Hammond Collection review. Finally looking at the highly anticipated and also heavily criticized Hammond Collection Indominus Rex. You'll finally get to hear my take on this figure, which is probably going to be generally positive because it's a cool figure in my opinion. And, you know, people who nitpick are nitpicking and biased, so. Hammond Collection Indominus Rex, obviously it appears in Jurassic World. This is the big figure for this wave. It costs like 60 bucks. And it's been a absolute pain in the ass to find. I got one finally, but it's still pretty hard to get. If you want one, just keep your eyes peeled on the Target website or hope you find one in person. And then hopefully it'll become more readily available throughout the year. But yeah, Indominus Rex, it's a true FX figure. It looks like it's the model. They use this cool render, which is one of my favorite Indominus renders. Jurassic World Hammond Collection Indominus Rex. This is our first hybrid in the Hammond Collection. This wave is very hybrid heavy, also featuring the Scorpius Rex and Mutodon, neither of which I have in hand. But as soon as I get those, I'll do reviews of those. It's the Indominus Rex. We all know her, we all love her. Side of the box shows the figure and then the blurb as well as the Jurassic World logo. It's a smaller box than the Spinosaurus, but it's the same size as the T-Rex and Giganotosaurus boxes. Got the renders of the figure on the back. Looks fairly good. Indominus Rex. After the Indominus Rex escapes from her enclosure, a failed mission to contain her shockingly reveals that she ripped out her own tracking device and has the ability to camouflage. Now, Mattel says she's like mid-camouflage, that's why she's kind of green. Sure. Honestly, I think they just went off the Camp Cretaceous model. That's my opinion. It would be hard to make a true camouflaged Indominus. You'd have to like do a cool deco on it, kind of how they did the rain on the Comic-Con T-Rex, but it would have to be its own separate figure. Yeah, there's that UPC code if anyone wants to scan it to get the figure. Not much else to really say. It's going to be a bit of a pain to get out the box, but we'll see what we can do. I'm just very excited to open this figure. So here's the Indominus out of the box, and having it out of the box, looking at it for a few minutes, I get the complaints. I get it now. I get it. I thought it was a little overhated when it came out, but I kind of get it. It's not a bad figure at all, don't get me wrong. I'm very excited to have it in hand, but there's just a few things that are like, okay, I don't know. It's the Indominus Rex. It looks like the Indominus Rex. If it made noise, it would probably sound like the Indominus Rex. It's a little too dark. I get it's like, oh, it's camouflaging, but I don't know. And then the hands. I'm so used to Mattel not painting Indominus Rex hands, but like, they're very dark. You can see they are very dark. It looks like they painted the claws like all the way up to the knuckle, which is a little odd, but it looks good. These things are a little fragile, which is a bit of a bummer because it's such a sought-after figure, and I got to be kind of careful with it because I really don't want it to break. Just like messing with the jaw a little bit, like the gums are very loose and flabby, which gives it a cool look. Like it looks like its gums are stretching like it does in the movie. But yeah, I'm gonna be careful with this one. Yeah, the Indominus Rex though, it's impressive, and I'm sure it'll grow on me. There's just, I'm gonna complain first, praise second, so we can end on positives. These are too round. These are way too rounded. It looks odd. And then the tail is like really rounded at the end. It looks like it just kind of cuts off. It doesn't look like a natural end to the tail. Most Indominus Rexes have like a very fine point at the tail, and I kind of expected like it should go out a little bit further and have that point. But other than that, I think it looks like a cool figure, and the accessories are all super cool. And the paint, like, it's really dark, but it's really well applied, like all the airbrushing details and all that. It looks good, and it looks like it's cool to have another big dino in the collection. It's kind of like the Spino at first, where it came out, I was kind of like, and then it's grown on me since, because it looks like the Camp Cretaceous one, and this looks like the Camp Cretaceous Indominus. I think that's what they have the access to for the files. I don't think they have the true ILM film models. I think they have some of the Camp Cretaceous models, because that original Indominus model did not look like this, but I digress. The attention to detail is super nice, especially with the mouth. That doesn't sound right. There's like blood on the teeth. Like you can kind of make out it's got a little bit of blood on the teeth, which is super cool. And then the mouth does look great. It's just these skin flaps are super fragile, so be careful. And the head sculpt, other than the horns being a little too short, overall looks great. But as I'm saying, you like gotta be careful with this jaw. Yeah, you got like the gums here, and the teeth look good. Mine doesn't look like it wants to close all the way. I'll have to work with it. It looks menacing. The Indominus looks menacing for sure, which is how it was in the movie. And you can see this like airbrushing detail. There's a lot of detail on the sculpt. Like someone clearly put a lot of love into this. And then moving down, these are all like a soft rubber material. They feel fragile. I'm going to be careful with them. Same here. These feel fairly fragile. I've already got quality control issue. The leg here is not sealed all the way. It's fine. As long as it stands. This leg is a little loose feeling. It's ankle. But I can always rubber band it. And yeah, it looks great. It looks cool. I like it. I'm glad to have it. The accessories are also a bit interesting. I'll go over the accessories and then I'll go over the articulation, because I think I prefer these hands. So it's got interchangeable hands, and then something that's really cool is it's got like dino damage. But like, yeah, look, the gum on this side, like, it's sticking out. The gum flap is sticking out of the jaw. I don't want it doing that. I want the gum all the way in, so I want it all the way in. So that is something I'm gonna have to fiddle with. It took some work, but I got it. Like, that's just a little annoying. But it does have this, and it's really reminiscent of the old Kenner figures with dino damage. And you've got this chunk that comes out, and they even have the little Indominus Rex tracker in there, which, you know, the attention to detail is awesome. That is such a cool thing to add that makes this feel like a premium collector's figure. But then, like, get the paint job and sculpt right. Like, it's not a bad figure, but I understand why people were disappointed. I'm not disappointed. There's just like a couple of, it's just like, yeah, I get it. I'm gonna have a lot of fun posing this guy up for sure. The hands do change out. I'm a little worried about how easy they're gonna be to pop out. I like doing stuff on camera, but sometimes it's just easier to pop. Yeah, they're kind of hard to get out. There's the clawed hand, and then she's got these gripping hands. So I prefer the gripping hand. That doesn't sound right. Pops in pretty easily. It's just getting them out that's kind of a pain. There you go. I much prefer those hands. These hands are cool, don't get me wrong, but they're I prefer these gripping hands. I probably will keep those on here. Yeah. It's a Hammond collection figure, so it's highly articulated. You know the gist. We'll go over it. We'll start with the arms will move back, forth, they will move out. Doesn't feel tight, which is nice. We've got elbow articulation with these little things. These are a harder plastic. I'd be a little worried about these breaking, just with if you're going to be rough with it. But the elbow will bend down and up and also rotate, which is super cool. The hand will swivel and bend. Please bend. Yeah, they bend. You do have articulation at the neck. It'll move side to side quite fluidly, actually. This is like not loose, but it's fluid. I like that. You've got another point of articulation here. Move up and down and rotate, and then the jaws are articulated. They are independent, which is nice. So this will move up twice, we'll move up, then this will move down. So you can't get the true 90-degree angle that the Indominus has, but that's a pretty wide bite there. I'm sure you could finagle it a little bit. No articulation at the midsection. I'm very glad they got rid of that because that was not a favorite feature of mine on the Rex. The legs will move out away from the body as well as inward. They'll move back and forth. They are on a ratchet. They are independent of each other. The knee will bend. You got this weird kind of white paint on the legs. Kind of hard to pick up. Doesn't look bad. Knees will bend, swivel, ankle pivot. This will bend. It feels tight. This ankle is incredibly tight. Holy crap. I'm not going to push that. It feels like it'll break. And then the leg will swivel. And then it's a Hammond collection figure, so it does have the articulated tail. And it also will bend. It's segmented in here, but it's got that overlay of rubber, similar to the neck on the Brachiosaurus. So you can get the tail kind of posed up, but it looks kind of awkward and it bends the rubber. So there's that. So here's the Indominus next to the original Indominus Rex, released in 2015. You can see how much of a piece of crap this figure is. But it does have the sharp points, which is what I'm used to, and the curved tail, so it's clearly the better figure. Obviously, I'm joking. Hasbro's figures are absolutely horrible. Like, they won't even stand properly, this figure. But yeah, this is really just to show that this Indominus is really not all that bad, and the people who've like super complained about it weren't around during the dark times, obviously. So yeah, I will say though, it is not Mattel's best Indominus Rex. I still do think the best Indominus Rex is this one. I can't remember what it's called, but it's got the cool light up feature. I think if they would have just taken this sculpt and Hammond collectionified it, would look significantly better. But, you know, they're both solid Indominuses. This one is much bigger, I will give it that. It's probably much more accurate scale-wise. But it's a cool Indominus Rex figure. This figure's really not all that bad, guys. It's got some glaring issues with it, where it's like, if they would have done this, it would have been a little bit better. But it is not a bad figure at all. And the people who think that it is, like, need a reality check. It's better than the T-Rexes, which I could go grab, but all my big Hammond guys are pretty tucked away. So I will say it's not as good as the Giganotosaurus. It's not as good as the Spinosaurus, but it is better than the T-Rexes. So for the bigger carnivores, it's not the best one, but it's a good one. There's not a bad Hammond collection figure. There's a couple that are stinkers, some of the old ones, but they were fine for their time, and this one's not bad. I just think the hate's a little overblown on it. But yeah, overall, pretty happy with it. It's a pretty cool figure. Now that I have it posed up in a way I like, it looks much less awkward and like weird to me. It looks much better. Let me know what you guys think. If you think I'm blatantly wrong with my opinion, or if you agree with it, let me know. Also, let me know what kind of long-form content you're looking for. I've got some ideas, but we'll just kind of see now that I've got a clean slate for reviewing until the other figures in the wave come in. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. See you guys in another video, and take care.